sensation that refreshes, a trip you won't forget. A park with every minimum acceptable safety standard met. Place your best for adventure and new the world.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Mahardy here at Gamescom 2016. We're talking Dead Rising 4. I have gotten the chance to play it a few times, but Scott, you got the first look at the campaign today.
Yeah, actually went and did a full presentation, kind of getting into some of the lighter aspects of the campaign. I didn't go too deep into it, but I know a little bit more than we did before.
Hell.
It stars Frank West, he's slightly older, still a photojournalist, takes place in Willamette, Colorado again, the site of the first game, although now it includes the surrounding area in addition to the original mall, so a lot of that stuff is already established, but I did get to learn a little bit more about the game, see a little bit more about what's being added. Importantly, the photography stuff does come back. Frank is bringing photography back with him. It works a little differently now, though. You can still just take pictures of stuff and get points and earn things that way, but there are also some camera modes, like there's a night vision mode, so if you're in a dark area, you can be looking through the viewfinder and being like first person, so you're kind of defenseless and don't have weapons out.
And unfortunately for the decent humans, there are selfies this time.
There are selfies. Yeah, I actually saw a stealth kill called a stealthy, where you sneak up behind a zombie, pull your camera out, take a picture of you and Frank together, and then snap the zombie's neck. Very, very Dead Rising.
God damn it.
Yeah, they've also added like, you have an exosuit now, like a Call of Duty style exosuit, because why not? Frank in the exosuit can just run through hordes of zombies and just like punch everyone across the map, which is already hilarious. But you can actually mod the exosuit the same way you can mod a vehicle. So the demo I saw, they actually modded it with like a Slurpee machine.
Yeah, you shoot tornadoes, like purple and blue tornadoes.
Yeah, you pretty much turn into Mr. Freeze. You turn into like the Arnold Schwarzenegger version of Mr. Freeze. It's pretty great.
So another thing that people who like Dead Rising 1 and 2, maybe more than 3, which kind of went just like this zany open world with crafting, you had like a steamroller motorcycle with flames shooting on the sides. The timer is not returning from the earlier games.
Yeah, correct. So your previous games had several of those games had abandoned the timer. They would allow you to play in like a separate mode, but as far as I can tell, there isn't even going to be a mode with the timer on it, with the exception of the 4-player co-op online mode. So the campaign, no timer whatsoever. It doesn't even sound like there's going to be an option for it. But yeah, at least you can play it online if like you're really devoted to that aspect of the series.
Did Capcom tell you anything about like the story we can expect, aside from the fact that it's Frank, he's a photojournalist in Willamette?
Yeah, so I guess this is a new outbreak. There was an outbreak on Black Friday, so it's basically the Division, maybe set in the same universe. Who knows if there's some kind of crossover coming up. Probably not. They haven't told us too much more, but Frank is once again in town to, uncover the conspiracy. They did mention there are a few new zombie types, though, which I don't know if there's like a story explanation for it, but there are now like Evo zombies, which are basically a more highly evolved zombie. They're smarter, more agile, they hunt in packs. The developers compared them to raptors, basically, like Jurassic Park style raptors. And there are also what do they call newly infected zombies, which are kind of like the 28 Days Later zombies. They're very fast. They are recently infected, so they're closer to humans, so they are not as like, grotesque or as like shambly. They actually still have a lot of their like strength and typically stuff that you would typically find in like actual humans. And they, interestingly, will actually go around and bite survivors. So if you don't get to a survivor fast enough, you might see a survivor turn into a newly infected who will then come after you.
Well, it's interesting you brought up the survivors, because if people who play like 3 and the earlier games in general, you have the survivors, you kill a certain amount of zombies around them to save them. With 4, they were saying that it's the same geographical size as 3, but they're kind of going deeper with it. They're more side quests and kind of like RPG elements almost to pursue. Did they tell you any more about how that's going to be structured?
Yeah, they told me the same thing. Not in much more detail, but I think it is interesting that there are going to be more interior spaces. There's going to be more like verticality. Buildings will have basements, or you'll be able to get on rooftops, things like that, apparently more so than previous games. They also mentioned that the layout of the overall world map will be a little more consolidated. In Dead Rising 3, there were sort of like these little islands of world that you could hang out in, and they were connected by long strips of highway. No more long strips of highway. There will be areas that are kind of like longer and bigger and let you build up some steam in your vehicles and mow zombies down, but you won't have to commute through these really long areas to get from place to place.
Because we're leaving Southern California, thank God.
Yeah, we're now back in snowy Colorado. Oh, come on, man, you didn't like Southern California? You didn't like Nick Ramos?
In real world, I don't like Southern California.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And that is Dead Rising 4. We do have a few gameplay videos up on the site, and we do have a few news stories coming out this week from Gamescom 2016. And until next time, stay tuned to GameSpot.